And then the other big thing that they have to shit all over are the wonderful people that are being blown up on these fishing boats, I guess. Pleasure craft. What's your pleasure? What are they, houseboats, cruise ships, a booze cruise going from Venezuela to the United States? Is that what they're doing now? These are boats full of drugs with amazing motors on these boats. They go very fast. They're not stopping to throw a line out, see if you could catch something. These are boats transporting drugs to the United States. And I don't know who's driving them. I don't care who's driving them. To blow these boats up, it's something new. It's a new angle on the war on drugs, which has been going on forever and has done absolutely nothing. The rate that young Americans are dying from drug overdoses in this country dictates that something has to be done, really has to be done. And the Democrats, you hear them talking all the time. These poor people on the boat, you're killing them. Why not just intercept them, take the drugs, arrest them, and then put them in jail? And yeah, that's what's been going on. Just do the same thing over and over and over? That doesn't work. It does not work. You think the cartel leaders give a fuck that Ramon is rotting away in an American prison because he got caught? You think that's going to stop him from getting Juan to drive the boat next time? It is a long line of people ready, willing, and able to drive the fucking boat. Unless maybe you start blowing the boats up. Then they might have a harder time finding people to actually drive these boats. It's astounding to me that so many politicians in this country are just making excuses, blaming Trump, blaming Hegseth for the murder, I say, of these poor, innocent boat people. What do they call them? Ship victims of shipwreck? Shipwreck victims? What? And they say if they blow the boat up and a couple of these guys crawl onto the burning frame, whatever's left of the capsized drug boat, that killing them is a war crime and is against the law, and it's this and that. Anything to just defend some of the worst people in the world. That's what they do. They will defend the worst people on earth just to spite Donald Trump and MAGA and the people that voted for him. And they'll destroy cities. Look at what Brandon Johnson's doing up in Chicago. Destroying a city out of nothing but spite and racism, hatred of Donald Trump, hatred of white people. And he'll stack up black bodies as high as they got to be stacked, rather than give in, admit there's a problem with black violence in Chicago, and do what really needs to be done about it. That's what they do. They'd rather destroy whatever it is that they're supposedly in charge of. They'd rather see it destroyed than have to give an ounce of credit to someone they don't like Donald Trump. And they'll defend terrorists. These people coming over on these drug boats, delivering the drugs, are just as deadly as armed combatants getting off the boat and mowing down a few people on the beach. If that was the case, wow, you'd really have to be a nut to say they deserve due process and deserve to be plucked out of the water like they fell off a Royal Caribbean cruise ship. But they're no less deadly. But, you know, what are we supposed to think? That they're being noble and humanitarian? We need every life deserves to... no, not everyone. Here is Representative Adam Smith, and he's downplaying the lethality of drugs that are being brought into this country. He'd rather downplay how deadly the drugs are than actually say, we need to do something rash, something very serious to combat this drug problem, and arresting them and trying to make deals with foreign governments hasn't worked ever. So we need to take it one step further and start showing these people we mean business. But he'd rather downplay the lethality of drugs. Here's Representative Adam Smith.
But even worse than that, the notion is that cocaine still could have gotten to the United States, and they're treating that cocaine like it's a weapon. Basically, they're treating that image of those two people on that boat like a situation where, I don't know, you see a car bomb headed towards an embassy or something. Right. It's struck. It seems like it's incapacitated, but is it incapacitated? We don't know. There's still a couple people there. Maybe they can complete the mission. Maybe they can get that bomb to the building and blow it up. And that, too, is kind of absurd. But even worse.
But it is like that. Do you know how many more young people in this country are dead because of drugs than are dead because of terrorists coming over on a boat and bombing somewhere? It's not even close. The young people in this country dying because of ODing on drugs, fentanyl in their cocaine, whatever it is so much worse than people coming over on boats with bombs and blowing up an embassy or a building or what have you. What's the difference? Young people are dying. They're dying in this country because of the drugs being brought in. And you think, well, even if the coke makes it in, they're kind of making it seem like they're coming in with weapons or something. It is. It's a weapon. It's a weapon. The fucking balls on that guy. They just refuse to see what is plain right in front of their face. They need to confuse the issues, make excuses because Donald Trump, because MAGA, because Pete Hegseth. And they're willing to, again, stack up the bodies. Does that guy care that harmless cocaine that isn't a bomb or a gun, it's just cocaine, comes into this country? Does he care how many people that kills? And I'm not even saying that's the answer. Believe me, you'd be very naive to think you could stop the drugs coming into this country. There needs to be more. It needs to be a multifaceted approach. But one of them, like the immigration issue, there are plenty of ideas about what to do about the immigrants in this country already. And deporting some of them. Some of them are getting their citizenship. Some of them are getting amnesty and sanctuary. But the first thing was to cut off the flow of immigrants into this country, illegal immigrants into this country. That was paramount. That's what you do. If you have a hole in the boat, fix the hole in the boat. Then start bailing the water out. Or do it both at the same time. But you don't do it, backwards. You got to fix the hole in the boat. So, blowing up these drug boats coming in, it's a start. It sends a message. I think I said this on, was it Sunday night's show? That there's more to it than just blowing up the boats of drugs. Like, all right, that's how many tons of drugs was that? Let's subtract it from the total amount that comes into the country. And you'd go like, wow, that really isn't that much. There's still a fuckload of drugs coming in the country. Yeah, but that isn't the 100% total mission with blowing these boats up. Is just getting rid of that amount of drugs. It's to scare the shit out of the people that have to get on those boats that the cartel leaders are sending to bring those drugs over. Maybe they'll say, fuck el fucko el uo. And, see what happens. It's one approach, something that hasn't really been tried before. And the problem is so extreme that it really needs to be addressed with something this serious. But, Adam Smith, he's got his own ideas. It's just coke.